Welcome into Between the Pylons. I'm John Camacho.
And I'm Jacob Waters.
And we have a great show for you guys today. We're going to be playing Give Me the Odds. Basically, if Jacob were creating the odds for BovadaSportsbook.com, what would he put the odds at the couple questions that I have? And then he gave me some hot takes, right?
Buy or sells.
Buy or sells.
It's buy or sell this week for me.
All right, so that's going to be fun. Before we get to that, we got to talk about some news and notes, get into this week. First of all, I got to see my Dolphins put a hurting on the Ravens in Miami. Flew down to the game. That was an awesome time. We talked about it at the end of the show last week, so I just wanted to bring it up and brag a little bit.
Wasn't ready for that outcome, that's for sure. No,
I was not either. I was joking with my girlfriend that I should bet against the Dolphins, and honestly, I would have, but you can't bet on sports in Florida. You can in Tennessee where we live. So I looked up, tried to do it, and my location wouldn't let me. So I would have bet against the Dolphins had I gotten the chance, just to make myself feel better.
Did.
Yeah, just like to make you lost. I'm so happy about that one.
Yeah, double win for you.
Huge win. So that was great. Now, I talked about my team. You got to talk about one of your favorite players of all time. Take it away, man.
Oh, Cam Newton, for sure. It's the Cam back time. You know, he had a Cam back at Auburn whenever he was playing in Tuscaloosa. They were down 21 at the half, and he did the Cam back, and they won that game. And now you saw him get that first touchdown. He takes off his helmet and he goes right to the camera and just starts screaming, "I'm back." Listen, this is a feel-good story that I feel like we got a lot of the good vibes for immediately, and I was not expecting that. 3 days before that Sunday, I think Cam got signed on a Wednesday perhaps.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he had such a short turnaround from being a free agent to being back with the Panthers to scoring 2 times. You know, they used him in goal line situations, and PJ Walker got the main start for sure, but he gave energy. There's a clip, which it would be a bad audio file to play for those listening, but anyone after the fact, just go look it up on YouTube. It's on CBS Sports. Cam is already commanding the sideline. He has a group around him. The entire offense is looking for him, and he's down on one knee talking to him, saying, "Guys, let's go. We got a good team on the ropes right now. Let's put him away. Let's do this. Let's go." And he was a free agent last week. It's just his mentality. People are drawn to him. Yes, that's one of the things that could be a problem with Cam Newton in the past, and we've seen that. But it seems like he's at least doing well in this role so far with Carolina. Mm-hmm. I don't know how far it's going to take him. I don't know exactly where it could take the Carolina Panthers. Either way, though, it was a team that had been playing flat the past few weeks, and they seemed alive and well in this one.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Fun to see. It'll be fun to see how this plays out. I know he's getting first team reps right now throughout this couple weeks. He certainly, try that again. He is going to be getting first team practice reps over the next couple weeks. I know he has already gotten a couple. I think it was yesterday. I got that notification. So that's big news, and we'll see. Does he steal this job in the next couple weeks? Obviously, we knew he wasn't going to start week one, game one after coming right off the street.
Considering he scored twice.
Yeah, Did he score more than PJ Walker or just the same amount? Either way, it was an awesome story, like you said, and we'll keep an eye on that, see how that unfolds. OBJ moves on to the Rams. You know, last week we were talking about it, basically trying to decide. Okay, well, we're recording on a Tuesday. He'll probably be signed by a Wednesday, and he ended up being signed on a Thursday. But either way,
we knew it was coming.
We knew it was coming, and we had some. I don't think the Rams were a team that we thought of. It's funny how, honestly, that has to stop. Every time that a player is rumored to be going somewhere, the Rams need to be the first team that we think of.
Yeah.
Because it happened with Von Miller, and now it happened with Odell. Teams that, we named off a bunch of teams that made a whole lot of sense, and then the Rams swoop in, and I guess just can see into the future and knew that Robert Woods was going to go down for the year on Monday night, and now OBJ, goes from a luxury to, he could have some legit playing time.
He's a necessity now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So that's going to be interesting. How do you think this plays out? Is OBJ a curse? Because Matthew Stafford did not play well last night.
Yeah, it was unfortunate to look at the way that game was played. The Rams are kind of on a skid right now. They have a lot of the superstar status. I think they kind of have the superstar mentality, and they still have to put that product on the field and play. 49ers finally got healthy, though. Yeah. I do think this win says a lot about the 49ers, just as much as it's not like the Rams were that bad. I think the 49ers played that well.
Yeah.
And the 49ers are capable of playing to that level. That's one of those things. We have our power ranking show that we do weekly. It's hard to kind of reflect that because it's like, I know Kyle Shanahan and this organization is run right, but the injuries, there's a lot of setbacks. They don't have any continuity, chemistry going on with certain guys. So it felt like it all clicked for them right there. They got it going. Yeah, it might be too little too late, but you never know. There's still a spot open in the NFC. Back to Odell, though, I am worried. I mean, just because, you have Odell's mentality and about target share and whatnot. And Sean McVay, there was a little leaked comment coming out whenever he was talking to Odell in the free agent signing process saying, we're not giving you targets. Like, that's not in the plan. He said if you're open, Stafford will throw you the ball. And that's kind of where that was. I think he had 2 catches, 13 yards, and that was all that he was able to get going. Then again, a lot of the Rams weren't able to get going this past week. So, people are going to come out at Odell and say all that. It is what it is. I think it's going to be okay. It just, like you said, it went from a luxury from where it was like, oh my gosh, they have Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, and Odell, to now they have Cooper Kupp and Odell. And Van Jefferson had his time in the spotlight in last night's game, and he had several drops. Tyler Higbee had so many drops, it was horrible. They had 6 total drops, and 3 of them came on third down. Wow. That's what told that game. It was bad. They just couldn't get going, It's, I don't know. I like the Rams' success going forward for sure, and I'm still very much on Odell.
Yeah.
Love
so,
Odell.
you said that last week.
Odell's the best wide receiver on that team.
Yeah, I mean, Cooper Kupp, he's been
Kupp
special
in that
role.
Yeah, is better. But
I'm not going to sit here and argue that he's physically better than Odell.
Yeah,
he's not.
We know who the better receiver is.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Hey, I agree with that. Hey, let's get right into the meat of this show. I'm going to go first, and then I'll let you go. You were talking about let's go back and forth. I think it'll be fun. Hopefully, that's not confusing for the audience. I guess this will be a little bit of a test, and if it is, we won't do it again like this. But yeah, let's go back and forth with this. I'm doing Give Me the Odds. He is doing Buy or Sell. So we talked about Cam a minute ago. Give me the Bovada odds that Cam Newton secures a starting job for the rest of the season. Just for the rest of the season.
Well, I'm trying to think of it in the way that the favorite would be. Yeah, it's like minus 600. Yeah, no, it's his.
Okay, so he's the favorite.
It's Cam Newton's job. I've already heard something come out that they're saying that they're going to give Cam his due process in 2022 and let him compete with Darnold for the starting job in that, which who knows in the offseason. You see a lot of names. We're going to get back to the Deshaun Watson sweepstakes. There's a guy, kind of north in Wisconsin who's upset with his whole team. Who knows where Aaron Rodgers is going to end up landing. A lot of different things going on, a lot of different scenarios, not to mention the draft process. But if they are willing to at least give Cam, I guess, due process in that against Sam Darnold, it's Cam's job right now.
Okay.
I think he's the spark. I think he's the electricity that they need. And, they have a lot of good pieces, and Cam said it best in the interview. He was saying that this is a team that's just trying to get over the hump. And he's willing to do whatever he can to help get them over the hump. So with little expectation, hopefully he can take that and run with it.
Yeah, and it is interesting, he is going into this team, and obviously it's his whole team, but, when you got that jersey, the Cam Newton jersey that you're wearing right now, it was a completely different franchise than what it is now. Yeah, so I mean, he's on an old team, but it's really a completely new team. And I do think it's interesting. I knew you were going to be favored. And by the way, just for everybody listening, if he says minus 600, that's a very highly favored thing, right? So you would bet $600 to win 100. So that's kind of how the odds things works. So
saying it's a massive favorite,
massive favorite,
and will be the starter.
And I knew that it would be. I would probably wouldn't have put it that high, to be honest with you. I knew you would definitely put him as a favorite. PJ Walker just isn't as physically gifted as Cam Newton. No shock there anywhere. But also, I don't know what the deal with Sam Darnold is. I think he's going to be out for most of the year, if not all the year.
No,
at this point.
He is out.
He's officially out for the rest of the year. Okay, so I wasn't.
And it was just the spark that Cam was able to provide. Maybe that sense of leadership.
I get that. The only part that would give me trepidation is I know how quick the Rams or the Panthers have seemed to be to move on from a quarterback. Like, it doesn't seem like it does not take much for them to say, okay, this isn't working, let's move on. Matt Rule does pull that trigger pretty quickly. You're
right, and they have no allegiance towards Cam in any way other than doing this, special comeback ceremony.
But at the end of the day, I think you're in the right ballpark. It seems like a heavy favorite. I just wanted to give you, some kind of platform to talk about it other than the beginning of the show.
No, exactly.
I'll let you take it over.
Very excited to see it happen. I think Cam's going to do well in this role too. If the offense moves around him like I think it should, I think it's going to be good for him. Buy or sell. The Kansas City Chiefs are back. They are coming off of a very, very impressive win Sunday Night Football against the Las Vegas Raiders. Yeah, Raiders are on a skid. They got a lot of off-the-field stuff going on. Are you buying into the hype of the Raiders kind of falling apart? A lot of different things going on with Gruden, Henry Ruggs, Damon Arnett, blah, blah, blah. Or are the Chiefs back? Because we kind of been waiting for it.
Yeah, I mean, we said it, 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. Okay, we're just waiting for the Chiefs. Yeah, they're due. It should happen. I'll be 1,000% honest. I was in Florida living it up on Sunday night, so I didn't see that game. I didn't really see really any second of that game. I just saw that it was a blowout and moved on. So I don't have a good sense of just like how well they played, how good they all looked. The only play that I saw was a Mahomes, rolling out to the right and then throwing across his body and kind of getting. I felt like it was kind of a lucky catch from Darrell Williams.
Oh, that was so bad.
Yeah, it's kind of a bad throw.
Jonathan Abrams misplayed the heck out of that ball.
Yeah. So that was the only play that I really saw.
That crap.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. It was, I was a Bleacher Report thing where they came up and was like, look at this amazing throw from Mahomes. I love Mahomes. I'll watch that.
That was not a good throw.
It was not. It really wasn't. Like, it was, he gave his receiver a chance.
Every single thing that they tell you not to do as a quarterback.
Yeah.
Off-balance throw, across body, across the other side of the field, and it did not have the zip on it. He literally just lobbed the ball up to his
I mean, he gave his receiver a chance, and receiver came down with it. That's great, but I wasn't very impressed. I need more than 1 week.
Okay.
So I'm gonna sell right now with a slight caveat. And it's funny, I have a similar subject up for you. So we'll kind of dive back into the Chiefs in a minute. I'm gonna sell just looking at it. I think this next week, if they can beat the Cowboys came back, looked strong last week. I know they had a rough patch. It was Dak Prescott's first game back, and they struggled against the Broncos. But this past week, I mean, they put it to the Falcons. So I'm thinking that this could be the game. Sunday afternoon, 3:25. Chiefs Cowboys could be probably the game of the week. Honestly, probably will be. And let me watch that game, then I might buy, but I just can't buy yet after, take away Mahomes, take away the uniform and seeing them in the Super Bowl the past years. I can't look at the past 9 weeks of their season and say this is a team that's just going to turn it around on a dime. Yeah, it's just been too much. I need a little bit more. I don't need a lot. It's still Mahomes, still the Chiefs, but I need more than just one good game against a division rival.
I get that.
Yeah. All right, so let's switch it up here and give me the odds that a non-quarterback wins the MVP race.
Ooh.
All right, so this is a chance to think about it. I'm going to give you a chance to think about it while I talk this out. So obviously, it's a quarterback award, but this does seem to be the year if it was going to happen. Mac Jones, I guess, is the rookie and, in the lead. Trevor Lawrence really hasn't done a lot. Zach Wilson hurt and has kind of had a rough season. Beyond that, you're really not seeing a lot from Fields. Statistically, Trey Lance is still on the bench for the most part. So it seems like it's either Mac Jones or I guess Jamar Chase will be in the conversation. Najee Harris is getting a lot of stats, so he might be in that conversation. Beyond that, I can't think of anybody else, but that's kind of where we would probably be looking at. And again, we are specifically not going on Bovada, not going anywhere like that and looking at it from a separate place. We are specifically just talking about he is giving me the odds and he is talking about the odds from that angle. So I am curious where you're at with that.
I would have to put Mac as the favorite.
Okay.
But it's close, though. So I would say you probably throw Mac right at about just a little bit above even money, probably like a minus 180, minus 200. Everyone else would be in the plus money after that, of course. That's just how it goes. But right after that would be Jamar Chase, probably at plus 100.
So this is just specifically at a non-quarterback wins, right? So wide receiver, running back, whatever it is, as long as the quarterback doesn't win. So what were the odds for specifically that? You don't even have to predict. Yeah, you don't even have to predict that it's Jamar Chase, right? You get any out there.
In that out, but realistically though, in that out, what are your options? It is Jamar Chase. It is Najee Harris.
Yeah,
and you have unless we're talking historic happens, Kyle Pitts would have to just set the league on fire.
Yeah, it doesn't seem that it's going to happen with that offense.
That's where it could. A really, really interesting one that I know it would never, ever be, but he does deserve his props as probably the number one overall player in the class right now is Rashaan Slater.
Yeah,
killing it. He's had 6 games as to where he hasn't even given up a quarterback hurry at all. He hasn't given up a sack yet, but not even letting his quarterback be rushed on that side of the field. He's playing tackle, one of the hardest spots, the most important spot on that offensive line, and he's dominating it right now, killing it. So I know that would never ever be an option, but it kind of should be for considering that it's kind of a down year on the rookies overall. There's not really a clear front runner taking this race and running with it. But no, you're still in the plus odds with a non-quarterback.
All right, give it to me. Plus, you gotta give me a number.
Plus, if I said Jamar Chase was plus 100, though, that's kind of the hard part, So it is. It would be Jamar right there. So I would have to say plus 200.
Okay, so 2-1 basically.
It'd be a 2
bet
to 1.
100 to win 200 essentially. I agree with that. I think you're right in that ballpark. I honestly
solely runs on Jamar Chase.
Yeah, I think I would have done like plus 150 just because I really don't think Mac Jones wins this. I really don't. He could. He does. It does feel like he's the favorite. Who else
it goes to right now.
You're right, and it's a quarterback award, so you always give the ultimate props to a quarterback that's just doing pretty good.
And the team success usually goes
exactly, and the team has been doing well.
That's why it goes to the quarterback.
And the team has been doing well. Yeah. So I mean, I get that. I totally get that. But I'll push it right back to you with buy or sell here.
Yeah, I'll bounce it around and just I guess let it flow with kind of what the subject's been. Talking about Mac, talking about Rookie of the Years and all this good stuff. Patriot success. Buy or sell the New England Patriots as title contenders.
Title contenders. Title contenders. Yeah, I'll sell title contender, but this is a good team. All right, they're not. At the end of the day, are they
devil's advocate so hard?
Yeah, at the end of the day, are they? Well, I mean, they're in the AFC. Title contender. If I say they can go to the Super Bowl, they can obviously be title contenders. The AFC is deep, but it's like, this is the thing. My first argument was they're not in the same class as a Rams, Cowboys, or Bucks in my head, right? They're not in that like class of really, really good football team with a lot of talent. So that's why I wanted to say no, but you're right. You go over the AFC side, your contenders are the Ravens, who have shown they can be beat by good scheme and all these things. The Titans. Bills, who not that long ago lost to the Jaguars, and I mean that was an anomaly obviously, but Bills are not been as explosive as they were last year, and then obviously the Titans, who are really good, but they're still missing Derrick Henry. Yeah, they're still missing Derrick Henry. They are still squeaking out some I'm not gonna say lucky, but close games that Bill has been a master of winning those close games over the past 20 years on the back of another player, but still, I guess I'll buy it. I guess I will buy it. I was going to sell it, and I talked myself into buying it just simply off the fact that I don't think anybody's giving credit to the fact that this Patriots defense is really fucking good. Yeah. The fact that this offense, it's not great, but the offensive line is really good, and Mac Jones, it seems like, has gotten better every single week, and Mac Jones is not making mistakes, and he is running the offense pretty well. I mean, overall. So, it's not blow you away stuff, but really it never has been with the Patriots. I mean, honestly,
that's the thing. It doesn't have to be. Yeah, I think that they are a team that comes up and does the same thing over and over and over very, very well. And when they play a team that's having that hiccup week, or a team that can't get this aspect of their game going that is just fundamentally necessary for them to win a game, the Patriots will hang around in that game and most likely beat you when it gets to late crunch time numbers. That's just how it goes. When that gets up to the playoffs, I don't know how Mac Jones is going to respond to handling that pressure. I don't know how it's a very different team overall than what we're used to seeing. But overall, the AFC is deep. And I have a question later on that we can talk about. We'll dive into it more. But the AFC is a very, very deep conference right now, in saying that I don't think that there's a clear front runner.
It's so funny when Tom Brady and the Bucks played the Patriots, that game ended and the Patriots were 1-3 and the Bucks were 3-1 at the time. Mm-hmm. Now the Bucks are 6-3 and the Patriots are 6-3 too, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I'm about to double check that.
6-4.
6-4. Okay, but that's right. So the same amount of wins. That's pretty interesting. That shows growth, and the Patriots have always been the type of team that September doesn't matter. Bill has always been that guy.
What Bill was saying was, give me last year's lame duck year, and he made it through. He got rid of that dead money, got rid of some of those contracts. He spent the most money in free agency. He got his quarterback, who was starting to play a lot better. Yeah. And like you said, it was a rough start, but as they continue to grow, if they got their worst ball out of the way, they're going to be a good team.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy it. The more I think about it, it's like Bill Belichick has been a master for a lot of years, and really even last year, we talk about it as a lame duck year. I was in the camp at week 10, week 11, week 12. I was sitting there saying Bill Belichick deserves Coach of the Year more this year than he ever has before, because he was doing it with a garbage can.
Borderline practice.
It was bad. He was doing it with guys that I don't think start on most other 31 other teams out there. Certainly impressive. So the fact that they've been able to do this with a rookie, no less, is very impressive. It's a team sport, and I think that's the Patriots Patriots are the epitome of it's a team sport. All right, let's move on here. Give me the Bovada odds that the Lions will go winless this season.
Man, it's one of those things that they are so damn close, and they've been so close. They have taken so many good teams to the wire. They took the Rams in a very, very different kind of style game to the wire. They played a close game against the Vikings that just didn't really bounce their way. The Ravens, they had a 65-yard NFL record by Justin Tucker, literally cost them that game. It's just been unfortunate to see this team have such good fight in them, and then it's like, oh my God, they're beating the Steelers, right? And then a field goal for Chris Boswell forces overtime, and then no one was able to take it from there. And in fact, the Lions missed the kick that would have won that game, and then ended up resulting in the tie. There's not a lot of winnable games going forward. I mean, you can say that whenever you have 0 wins in that column, that every team that you're playing is, I do feel better than you. You have one game that you can highlight on December 26th, and that's the Atlanta Falcons, who are also playing some really, really bad football right now. So I circle that game if you want to feel bad for both sides. But there is a chance that the Lions do it. If I'm having to give odds, it's so at the beginning of the year, I know for a fact Bovada had it listed at plus, I think it was 1,800 that they go winless in the first place. So that was. I'll go ahead and say that if I was them making this list and chart going forward, if we were to have half the season out, I would cut that in half. So I would probably set that right at about 850.
Yeah, plus 850.
You have half the games to go.
So plus 850. So bet 100 to win $850.
Yeah,
that's just for everybody listening that knows
Does that make sense? Because if they did, if it was plus 1,700 at the beginning of the year or plus 1,800, whatever it was, right in that range, we're already finished with a little over half.
And you threw in the fact that they've had a lot of close games. Now, granted, they have had a lot of, they got blown out by the Eagles. They got blown out by the Bengals.
Their licks.
Yeah, for sure. But it is worth highlighting that they have brought their best to some good teams, and it has looked better than it could. And you mentioned the Falcons. There's still 7 other games that, hey, they do play the Packers, Seahawks, Cardinals, Broncos, Vikings. I mean,
and
so
also last game of the year too. Teams are trying, and I don't know if the Lions will be trying. I don't know if the Green Bay Packers will be trying. Because
that's a big one, yeah.
They're 8-2 right now. The Packers are.
There's a very good chance that's Jordan Love with none of their starters.
They're 100% going to have the division wrapped up by then.
Yeah.
And who knows where the seeding's going to work, but.
That's a big one. That's a good point where the Lions could get a moral victory there in the last game of the season. But yeah, I was just trying to point out there's the one game that looks like the most winnable against the Falcons, but then there's 7 others that's like any given Sunday. You never know. I didn't think the Lions and Steelers would go down the wire the way it did.
What if they come and knock the Browns? Browns are on a really big skid. That's
exactly. That's this next week. Yeah, I think plus 850 is really, really fair. I'm glad you didn't take the bait and make it like a lot closer. I'm glad it wasn't like a plus 300 because I was kind of hoping you would so I could give you shit.
You got to still stay realistic with it. Yeah. I took the knowledge that I had, and then it was like, half's over, so kind of cut that in half.
Fair enough. I like that.
Buy or sell, and this is, I guess, going back to years ago before this relocated team found their landing spot, and talking about some of the, I guess, the issues that could be going on, and how it's so crazy how the irony behind it. 3 weeks ago, we mentioned the Las Vegas Raiders and how there were minimal altercations and interactions and bad headlines, and how they had just kind of done a very good job about being in Sin City and the Sins at least being quiet. There's a lot of misfortunes that have happened, and we're not going to sit here and just, talk about them too much in depth, but you have the Henry Ruggs, you have Damon Arnett, John Gruden, and it's been kind of bad recently. I mean, they've been in the headlines for all the wrong reasons. A lot of people are starting to say that a team was not ready for Vegas. Buy or sell, the Raiders being in Vegas is a good thing.
Buy or sell, the being in Vegas is a good thing.
A football team in Vegas works.
Yeah, I'm still going to buy it. And here's the reason. One, I do think, you're going to get DUIs. You're going to get a lot of this stuff anywhere. And again, I know that Henry Ruggs situation is not just a DUI. Like, it's not, I'm not trying to compare the two.
That's why I said we're not going to talk about it.
But I will say, I can at least look at that and say, is that an isolated incident? And then obviously the thing with their coach, I don't think had to do with where the Raiders were. So I'm not going to really factor that in. The question for me is, okay, how much did Las Vegas seep into the Henry Ruggs situation? And I don't know that answer. I don't think any of us really ever can. I'm not going to sit here and immediately say that it is bad. The thing is, and the reason I'm going to buy it is because I know when I looked at the schedule this year at the beginning of the season, I was looking for a game to go to. I wanted to go to a Dolphins game somewhere. I knew I had the Titans at the end of the year in my hometown, so I was definitely going to go to that. And I'm like, okay, where else am I going to go? Where am I going to watch the game? And I want to go to Vegas. I'm a gambler.
I want to go to Vegas and sit in that stadium and watch a game like that. Yes.
Yeah, so I want. Yeah, exactly. So I was looking for Vegas for tickets to go to Vegas. I was thinking about it. $400 were the nosebleed seats. $400 per ticket.
Game sold out too.
For the worst seats in the house for the Miami Dolphins. We're not talking about like a big market team. It's not like this was a huge team. Like I don't know. I'm not gonna completely dive into that. My whole point is they make a shit ton of money in Vegas right now.
They do.
So that is the other aspect to be. It would have to get really bad, and it would have to be uncontrollable for it to get to that point. And at the end of the day, these are all professional athletes, and the uncontrolled. I think there's certain people in the NFL that maybe would be bad for Vegas, but I don't think you can tell me that you can't find 52 players and a coaching staff that are going to be fine in Vegas just like they would anywhere else.
And you're right, it's a slippery slope, but it's an overall mentality of just about there was a lot of backlash coming from that. And ultimately, a lot of years where it was like Vegas would be a good spot, it got shut down every single time just because of the idea going around it. It's a good thing that there's not a pro NBA team in Vegas, because I'm sure James Harden would like to be on that team. Dude has a whole VIP strip club room named after him because how much time he spent there. You have a lot of these young guys getting millions of dollars, and you are in Sin City. I'd be going to gamble.
Yeah.
I would be putting myself at that. Now, I don't know if I was making millions of dollars professionally. I'm pretty sure I could curb that want and desire, but there's other guys who can't, and when it's right there in front of you, it could kind of be hard. If I was an away team, I'd have Vegas game circled. I'd be like, hey, we're gonna have a fun weekend on
absolutely, man. So absolutely.
With that comes the responsibility of it. Who knows?
And the other part of it that the Henry Ruggs thing is a real thing, and it's gonna be tough if you have a guy, and I'm not gonna use, if you have a guy that lived his entire life in Alabama and Kentucky and Missouri, wherever it is, that never had anything like what
Culture
Vegas
shock.
is, and then went to an SEC school like UT or something like that, and then you're drafted to Las Vegas. Like that's a whole other thing that's like you can't prepare for how that's going to affect a kid, especially if it's an early round kid who gets a shit ton of money. And that, I think, could be a real thing for the team, and that could be a real pitfall that the Raiders organization is going to have to deal with, and we'll see.
I'm sure someone
moving
in
forward.
that team or other teams in Vegas would look at and be like, we got to have extra personnel or maybe extra financial advisors. Maybe we got to baby them a little bit earlier on, and kind of keep them going. Who knows? But just the overall thought behind that.
Hey, great subject there. That was an interesting one. Definitely not something I was prepared for. I like that. All right, give me the Bovada odds here that the Kansas City Chiefs, we're going back to that win the Super Bowl in 2021 this year. Yeah, you asked me, I think you said buy or sell that the Chiefs are back. I'm saying fuck back. Are they all the way back? Are they going to win the Super Bowl? I mean, is this a team that is don't tell me they're not a contender, because I think they're going to be a contender when you have an NFL MVP on your team at the quarterback position. Are they going to win the Super Bowl? Give me the odds.
I'll do you a good service. I'll list out the teams that are in front of them and then figure out where they're at.
Let's go from there.
The Packers would be ahead of them. I think the Cardinals Super Bowl odds would be ahead of them. I'm not going to get into the numbers exactly because this is in no particular order. The Ravens should be ahead of them. The Titans should be ahead of them. The Buffalo Bills should be ahead of them. The Buccaneers should be ahead of them, and the Rams. Chiefs should fall right after that.
Did you say Rams twice? Maybe not. I don't know.
Possibly, viewers, if I did. If not, just drop one finger. Just imagine one gone for John. So that puts the Chiefs right at, what was that, a 7 or 8?
Yeah.
And I would say odds with that would probably fall right around like 850. 700 to 850.
Wow.
The Chiefs can peak at the right time, and it would be at. Listen, honestly, we need to go double check the work here, because if it is plus 700, I will go put money on the Kansas City Chiefs winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I would have said like plus 11 or plus 1200.
Oh, even more?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I think you're giving them some juice, honestly.
Wow. Well, then we need to go bet on that, because we know when the lights are brightest what team can. It's lightning, and they have Tyreek Hill, and they can strike multiple times a game.
All right. If you want to give me your buy or sell, if you can give me one that'll set up, I'm going to look it up. We weren't going to do this. We weren't going to go on Bovada at all.
No.
But we'll do it now just to...
Yeah, here we go.
Just to see
Let me give you this buy or sell. The Super Bowl race is wide open.
Oh, I buy that all day. The Super Bowl race is wide open.
But you don't think that there's as much of this hierarchy of, because you listed the Cowboys, by the way. I forgot to mention the Cowboys whenever we were doing, like, it was off the top of my head. You said Cowboys, Rams, Bucks, Ravens, like that. Is there this hierarchy system of teams? Chiefs are at plus 950.
Plus 950. Okay, so we were dead. You said 850. I said 11 or 12.
Very,
so
very close.
We were right in the middle there. Okay, we were all around it.
Very, very close.
Yeah, I might bet that, honestly. It's not the worst bet.
If they're going to be in playoffs.
Yeah.
And that they'll be ready to go. Come on now.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree.
What if they somehow get to play a banged up Titans team without Derrick Henry week 1?
Yeah, I mean
against that secondary. I like the Titans. There's a lot of flaws right now.
Yeah, no, I don't deny it. I mean, there's a lot of paths that the Chiefs have. I mean, if you have a guy who can put up 5 touchdowns in any given Monday or Sunday, that's pretty nice.
Run them against the best in the AFC, the Bills, the Titans, or the Ravens.
All right, so I will say that you said was the Super Bowl race wide open?
Super Bowl race wide open.
I'm going to say it is absolutely wide open. In the NFC, I can look at 5 or probably 4 or 5 teams that could legitimately make it to the Super Bowl. Cardinals with a healthy Kyler Murray, I do believe could do it. Kyler Murray and Hopkins. Cowboys do have the firepower to do it. Packers, obviously, that's 3. Bucks, obviously. Rams, obviously.
5.
Yeah, so I just gave you 5 in the NFC, and then we could have a conversation beyond that. And the AFC, I think it's absolutely wide open. I mean, Bills, Ravens, Titans are at the top of the AFC right now. It wouldn't surprise me a bit if none of those teams make it. Obviously, we were already talking about the Chiefs. Chiefs feel like a team that could absolutely sneak in there and turn it around pretty quickly. And then on top of that, the Steelers aren't. And it's not impossible the Steelers could catch fire. I'm throwing teams out there, right? I'm not saying any of these teams are going to win the Super Bowl. I'm just saying.
There's nothing wrong with
but could they catch fire?
Yeah.
Could they catch fire? Absolutely. Could any one of these teams in the AFC catch fire and make it to a Super Bowl? In an AFC where you're really only having to get past the Titans, the Ravens, and the Bills.
Titans have this new form identity where we don't know.
There's 7 playoff spots, so theoretically, you could really only have to get past one of those to get there, and then get past one of the other teams in the AFC that maybe or may not even deserve to be there. I do think it is wide open. I really do. The NFC, less wide open, but the AFC, man, it feels like there's 10 teams that could make it to the playoffs, and it could be, I could see a lot of different ways that it turns out. I'll put it that way. I agree with you. All right. It's my turn again. It's my turn again. All right. Here we are. What did I do? Did I do 2 questions on Mac? I might have. All right, so I'm sorry about this. Give me the odds that the best quarterback in the draft class is really Mac Jones.
That's different. The first
that's a tough one. Yeah, it's a little different, but it's certainly touches on Mac Jones a little bit.
The best? No.
It's tough. Yeah, it's tough. That's a tough one. I don't really like it. That was the last one, and I guess I kind of quickly didn't think about it. I guess the thought process is, you can't really have a definitive answer there, so because it's tough to. That's an opinion-based thing.
I would very much.
Okay, let me do this. Give me the odds that Mac Jones ends up being the most that gets the most accolades. So Super Bowl MVPs, stuff like that.
No, it's bottom barrel for me. Not bottom of the barrel, but I would.
Very unlikely.
Yeah, very unlikely. Give me odds around like 1,500.
1,500. Okay, say you could say 15,000. So that's.
I think it's going to.
Yeah.
It's Trevor.
Yeah, Trevor. Yeah, it feels like that.
When you look at, I guess, longevity of what a career could be.
No, here's why I disagree with that, and this is the thing. Trevor's on the Jaguars. And listen, I know that quarterbacks can absolutely turn around teams, and it could be that type of guy, but teams can also completely ruin great players. Stafford wasted the first 10 years of his career on the Lions.
Yeah,
and they didn't really get anywhere.
Overall accolades out of that, for sure.
Yeah, so Stafford never won an MVP. Stafford never won he had a lot of numbers. He's it probably will be a Hall of Famer. But with the Lions, you look at him on the Lions, never won an MVP. Did he ever win a playoff game? Maybe one. I don't know if he even won one. So yeah, that means something to me. That's certainly worth mentioning. Then you look at, I thought Zach Wilson was great coming out. Well, he's on the Jets and obviously struggling this year, but rookie struggles don't really scare me right now. Trevor Lawrence, obviously, you just mentioned, I just mentioned with the Jaguars, that scares me. And then you move forward, what is Fields going to be on the, I don't know. It's a slippery slope, and I don't think it's completely unrealistic that Mac Jones, right now, I would argue, is on the the best team, overall team, as far as like the way the organization's run.
I think the way that it could be looked at would be that it's misfortune, I guess, for Mac Jones in saying that I think that he is in the best franchise out of all of those spots historically, especially recently, recency bias going in there. And why is he not higher? You know, why is he still so slow to get his respect?
Well, we all agreed coming into the draft, at least most people agreed that he was the 5th best quarterback in the class.
Exactly.
And I mean, some people
I've
said
seen players come
third.
to his
Some
defense.
people,
Did you see what Honey Badger went on Twitter and said? He said because he's not he's not fast or he's not throwing sidearm balls, that he's just not good. And they said the dude's got game, and he does. Mac Jones
absolutely.
Is a good quarterback.
He processes the field very, very quickly. He makes the right decisions more often than not. And yeah, I mean, he's winning games. So I mean, it's hard to
put a big
fight
old
against
target
it.
on his back, grabbing Brian Burns' ankle like he did though.
I saw that. That was shitty.
He said that he thought that Brian Burns had the ball. He thought that because it was a turnover play, so he didn't know. Who knows what happens right there? But twisting the ankle of a guy is definitely not a good look. And Burns said he called out to other defensive players and said, "Go get him." So
I saw that.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting. All right, so you're saying plus 1,500. I get it. It was a poorly worded question at the end of the day. So we'll move forward and give me your last one there.
Mike Vrabel is Coach of the Year. Buy or sell?
Man, I'm all about the coaches that bring around adversity. Let me think about this. I look at quarterbacks or the coaches that have had to deal with adversity. You have the Saints. I don't think the Saints are going to be much the rest of the season, and they lost their quarterback. That would have been huge. Man, I still think honestly, I want to look at Belichick again this year and be like, this year he's actually winning games, but to win him with a rookie, to win him with a rookie, to win him with a lot of like pieces that I still don't think we definitely thought they were better this year, but I don't think anybody really saw them as a true contender. They're contending in the AFC East, and they could be a real contender moving forward. I definitely think he would be a top favorite of mine. For Vrabel would be. The way they are winning games, the fight that they have, doing it without Henry, which I certainly did not expect. All of those things definitely seem to be a huge positive.
Teams that find a way to win kill it. And I have some reasons. The Titans currently have the longest active win streak in the NFL at 6 wins, 5 straight coming off of 2020 playoff opponents.
Wow.
That is wildly impressive to think that 5 of the teams in there, and some of the top dogs too, they have the best record in the league. As of now, they have the toughest schedule played and the most injuries on any team, with 21 listed injuries last week.
Yeah.
And they are still winning. They beat a good Rams team over at Los Angeles, which I gave them a snowball's chance in hell.
Yeah.
And this week against the Saints, the Saints are a beat-up team for sure, but I guess you could say battle of the coaches overall. Sean Payton is a very, very well-known coach when it comes to running his team off of adversity, making sure that they're still clicking, and I'd say the better team came out of that game, the team that wanted it more, the team that was able to fight, and teams that fight really support their coach, and it seems like the guys overall are just down for Vrabel. I can't think of another coach that comes to the top of my mind right away.
Yeah, I'm going to buy it. I do agree with you.
Other than the typical, Matt LaFleur because the Packers are doing good right now, or, you Cliff Kingsbury because of the Cardinals' success, or whatever the case may be, Yeah,
Cliff would be in a conversation for me for sure. But
Cliff has made some strides because he has answered a lot of doubts that I've had in him. But I think it goes to Vrabel. Losing the quarterback of your offense in a Derrick Henry was big, and they're 2-0 since.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. That's a great way to end it. Ended on a high note there for Mike Vrabel. All right, I think that's it, right? We're good?
We covered
Guys, thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. We really, really appreciate it. We will be back next week. Also, catch out our Power Rankings show, which we're about to record in just a minute, and it will be out on Wednesday. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.
7.